How to raise dating standards for women. To increase your standards in dating once and for all, there is one very crucial thing that you need to do. Understanding your own value as a woman is the key to successfully upping your standards. When you know what you're worth and appreciate who you are, you won't hesitate to cut out any man who doesn't treat you with the utmost consideration. When you are content with who you are and realize that you do not need the approval of anybody else to be happy, your dating standards skyrocket. Now, what exactly does it mean to elevate your game when it comes to dating? To put it in another way, your standards are the things that you are prepared to tolerate from a male partner. Your dating standards are the expectations you have for the type of man you let into your life, ranging from how he treats you to his current work level. These criteria are important because they help you avoid being hurt or disappointed. It's possible, for instance, that you have modest expectations for a person in terms of his professional life. It's possible that you don't really care if he doesn't have a regular full time job or that he has to be earning at least five figures for you to give him a second thought. Your far more essential dating criteria include the manner in which you anticipate being handled. You most likely have fundamental requirements about dishonesty, communication, and effort. You have every right to expect him to keep his word. If he tells you, he will call you. When women start seeing a new man, women tend to have their sights set on an idealized version of the future and become too preoccupied with the prospect of a long term commitment. They have such a strong desire for things to go their way that they are willing to make concessions and forgive wrongdoings until they are forced to settle for the very bare minimum. When it comes to dating, one of the biggest errors women make is settling for less than what is certain and what is deserved. Sometimes women set expectations very low, and the men who put in just the bare minimum of efforts understand that they can get away with it. Yes, women have to put an end to such nonsense. Increasing your dating standards really means you should have higher expectations of the men you go out with and break up with them if they aren't met. So, to start upping the dating standards, here are a few things that you might want to consider doing. Number one, determine your specific goals. Create a list of all the characteristics that you are looking for in a potential spouse. Consider both the major and the minor aspects of the situation. Imagine that you spend every morning waking up next to the man of your dreams. When you glance at him, how do you feel about yourself? How would you describe a typical day spent with each other? Does it make a difference if you're not a morning person while he is? When you are compiling this list, give some thought to what he resembles, the things that are important to him in life, and the sort of guy he is. You should also consider the aspects of your life on which you are hesitant to make compromises. If you have a really strong religious belief system, you probably won't go out with an atheist. Or maybe the fact that he does not want children is a deal breaker for you both. Regardless of the circumstances, you should walk away if a man possesses one of your deal breakers, even if those deal breakers aren't truly deal breakers for many. Having stated that, it is impossible to find a man that satisfies all of the requirements, but you can come quite close. When you have a clear idea of what you want, you'll be able to weed out the potential men who aren't up to the task. Number two, never ignore warning signs again. Even while it may be easy to disregard the red flags, they are there for a purpose and should not be ignored. Warning signs alert you to impending danger. Because the warning signs that you see at the beginning of a relationship do not, for some reason, vanish. These behaviors might be covert, such as arriving 30 minutes late for the first few dates you go on, or they can be blatantly evident, such as being very angry or rude. Do not overlook these warning signs, regardless of how large or little they may be. Most women, when they observe warning signs in a person, they stick with that guy out of fear that they won't be able to find someone better. Some even get the impression that they've put a lot of time into this person and they want some kind of reward for the efforts they gave. Or, perhaps the most infuriating waste of time of all, they believe that they have the power to mold him into the person they see fit for him. Wake up call, it would take a lifetime to fully comprehend this simple idea. When he sees fit, a man will alter his behavior. You are unable to influence or direct him in any way. The only thing you have any say over is yourself and how you conduct yourself. Therefore, if you are aware of any warning signs, you need to handle the situation. In the event that you do not see any differences in his conduct after all that, it is time to give up. Number 3, foster mutual confidence. It can be summed up like this: trust is something that must be earned throughout the course of a relationship. But once it has been established, it can also be destroyed in an instant. It's time to cut ties with that individual if he betrays your confidence and puts his own interests ahead of yours. How a group of individuals who don't trust each at all and yet can continue to be together is beyond any comprehension. When it comes to dishonesty, the cliche, once a cheater, always a cheater, takes a toll on relationships. Remember, you should settle down with a man who would never cheat on you or breach your trust in such a significant manner, because you deserve it. Watch out for males who are sneaky or dishonest, in addition to the more blatant forms of betrayal of trust, such as infidelity. If your boyfriend gets angry at you for grabbing his phone, then you can cross him off your list. You know, privacy is a very sensitive issue in a relationship, but you should at least be allowed to use his phone without him being concerned that you would sneak a peek at something you are not supposed to view, right? Number 4, your efforts and enthusiasm should be matched by him. If you get the impression that you are the only one making an effort, you should look elsewhere for a partner. This is not the case if you are the one who consistently starts talks or organizes get togethers for everyone else. You should not pursue any man, nor should you make excessive efforts to maintain a man's interest in you. In addition, it's not a good sign if he doesn't treat you with the same level of respect that you provide him. The degree of interest must be comparable. It's important that he likes you even more than you like him. Your partner ought to have the same level of interest in taking care of you as you do for him. Raise the standard that you've established for these guys. Don't continue to be with a man who makes you think, wow, I would never do that to him, because you'll end up regretting it. It is expected of him to treat you with consideration, courtesy, and respect. Always keep in mind that if a man wants to achieve something, he will do it, no matter what. If he is not able to match your intensity, then he does not desire you in the same way that you want him. Number 5, stop fretting about lost time. Everyone is familiar with a young woman who has been in a committed relationship with the same man for so long that she has forgotten why they even stayed together. He's not kind to her, and the two of them are often at odds with one another. Neither of them seems to be particularly happy. Despite this, they remain on the same emotional roller coaster trip that is their relationship. You know, avoid being like that girl. Many times, we might become locked in the belief that, hey, I've spent the last 2 years with this guy, I can't give up on him. Or the, I am able to make it happen. Even if it has been 10 years, you still deserve to be happy in the deepest sense of the word. Don't let yourself get preoccupied with wasted time, as it were. If you find that you're wasting too much time, you need to rethink how you approach the issue. After spending 2 years with him, you realize that the relationship isn't productive, thus, you shouldn't give him another year of your time. The longer you give yourself permission to wallow in misery, the less time you'll have to spend with the next person who may actually end up becoming the love of your life. Given all that, please always put this in mind. In order to determine whether or not you are receiving the genuine quantity of tender loving care that you deserve, you must first love yourself completely. It is impossible to have great expectations for the love that another person provides if one does not know what it is like to be loved. Because you value yourself and your time so highly, practicing self love will eventually lead you to end relationships that aren't serving your best interests. When you realize that you're a diamond in the rough, the last thing you'll put up with from a man is for him to treat you like dirt.